Harvie S., and we are here at Kolstein, NYC, and this is Harvie's Corner. It's not really a corner, but we call it Harvie's Corner. And we call the podcast Bass in the Corner. And in this podcast, we talk about and interview bassists that are kind of the lifeblood of the New York music scene. Bass players who play in all kinds of groups, and they don't only play in New York, they tour, they do all kinds of things. But they're really keeping the music scene vibrant. And one of the top bass players around New York is my good friend Joesph Lepore.
Lepore, yeah.
And as Americans, we might say it's like Lepore.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are going to Lepore.
Yeah, Lepore.
But anyways, Lepore is the official name of this gentleman. And so how you doing, Joseph?
I'm doing great. Yeah.
Great.
Thanks for having me here.
Oh, so great to have you. So essentially, people can look you up on Wikipedia and they know what you're doing and they know all the great people you've played with in recordings. But in this podcast, I want to cover some things that they don't normally get to see. And one of them is like, what are you doing now? What are your most recent projects?
Okay. The most consistent is, because we got to talk about consistency or not in New York. It's hard to keep a consistent band going on.
Talk about.
Yeah, I work a lot with trombonist David Gibson, who is a wonderful musician, all-around musician and great composer. I'm involved in his quartet, and we play on a regular basis bi-weekly at Smalls here in New York City. And we have a ball every time. Other people that I play with are Greg Glassman. I used to play regularly with him, a wonderful trumpet player. And we play with less consistency lately because just how it happens in New York. We all have our own careers and we play with a different array of musicians and different projects altogether. So sometimes it's hard to keep up one specific project going on.
Of course.
Freddie Hendrix, wonderful trumpet player, is another musician with whom I play regularly when there are gigs. He's heavily involved as a sideman. So I work the less frequently with him out of these three, I would say.
Right. But that's normal.
Yeah. Every now and then I do my own. I lead projects. I just had one recent trio gig that I led at Ornithology, great club in Bushwick.
Yes, that's a fabulous place, yeah.
And I led this sax, bass, drums trio. That format is something that always intrigues me. The fact of not having a chordal instrument gives me, and in this case, the saxophone player, Dana Stevens, much more space, I would say, to explore harmonically.
Right. And Dana Stevens is a bass player, too.
Oh, yeah. And he sounds really good on bass. Yeah. I thought it was the perfect call for this occasion. Adam Maruda was playing drums.
Yeah.
Fabulous drummer. We had fun.
Yeah, can't lose with a combination like that. Fantastic. So then I wanted to ask you a little bit about, now where are you from in Italy?
I was born here in New York.
Oh, you were born in New York?
I was born here in New York, Queens, New York.
Oh, see,
Jamaica, Queens. Yeah, it's something that only I don't put out there just first thing, hey, I'm from Queens.
Right.
I just say it when the occasion comes and a lot of folks.
But then you must have moved to Italy.
I moved as a kid when I was 7 with my family.
See.
My parents were Italian, and we moved in Salerno, which is by the Amalfi Coast, southern Italy. That's where my mom was from. And I was super, super lucky. There was how much are the odds that there would be a pocket of great musicians coming up together at the same time in such a small city? That was me.
Wow,
that
that
fell
is-
into
that
this
is-
pocket at that time.
That is luck, but
Yeah.
good luck.
And I feel that my first imprint in music with jazz was given me by all these musicians that were there. It was a pocket of maybe 5 or 6 musicians that were more advanced than I was back then.
Those are the best people to be with.
Yeah.
You always want to be with somebody better than you.
Exactly. So musically, I grew up there, and I grew up in the old school manner, like learn as much as you can by listening to folks that are better than you, and check out
I can relate
stuff
to
that
that.
they tell you to listen to, that they suggest you to listen to, get together, have music discussions, blah, 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 blah. Then fast forward, I decided to take a leap of faith. I came back here in the United States when I was already grown up, when I was 32. And I realized how much more hard work I had to do to keep honing my skills. It's inevitable coming here, I think, because you're in New York, and we all know the best of the best still hangs around here.
Yeah.
So on a daily basis, you can really listen to all kinds of musicians,
In any style.
stylistically speaking, in any style, that are playing at the, they set up the bar, basically, and thinking about the history that's been here, everybody, Ron Carter, you've been around for so long, and a lot of other, speaking specifically of bass players, have set an example, of how it's done, basically, So I'm glad to be here, and I keep honing my craft.
Well, that's great. So you came up from. Did you play any other instruments, or you always played bass?
I started with the electric bass.
Started with
I started by
Good.
pure chance. My brother was an amateur musician who turned semi-professional at some point in his life. Guitar player, and we had a little band in our neighborhood, and
Wonderful.
nobody was playing bass, so I just fell into it.
A lot of bass players started that
I
way
started
because
like that.
We
It's
need
like-
a bass.
Yeah, exactly. My brother was like, "Hey, how about you want to play the bass? You want to try it?" And we got
Nobody
into
wants
it.
to play the bass, so maybe you'll do it. But little do they know, nobody wants to play the bass. Now
Right.
they need us.
And how I switched to at least practicing the upright is because I saw a bass teacher for electric bass. And the guy, I was 13, 14. The guy looked at my hands.
Oh.
And apparently I have big enough hands to handle a bass. The bigger, the better. Ideally, you want to have big hands as a bass player. And he was like, "Hey, I play upright bass too. How about you want to try it? Because you have good hands for it, I think." And I was
that
like,
did it.
And I was like, "Okay, let's try it." The eternal curious boy that I am, I gave it a
Once
shot.
you felt it,
Yeah.
once you feel that in your hands.
Exactly, and I
oh.
got into it. I didn't start performing with it, which is something kind of odd, for a few years, actually. I
That's
just
okay.
kept into a practice routine, classical mainly. He was teaching me classical music. And when I started jazz, I was still doing it on the electric bass. And then I switched. There was a period where I was alternating or playing both, the electric and the acoustic.
Yeah.
And at some point, I switched 100% to acoustic. The electric bass is like a quote-unquote toy with which I have fun every now and then if I
But it's
pick it
another
up.
family. It's not in this family.
No.
It's in another family.
I feel that there's so much more that I have to discover in the upright bass that I figured in my lifetime
You're never gonna.
I cannot
You're never gonna learn it all.
explore as much as I want both of them. So let me delve into one.
I'm like that. I did the same thing. I was playing both, doubling for many years.
I mean, I can still play it.
Yeah.
I take the rust off if if the occasion arises that I want to play. But I don't really seek out any electric bass gigs.
Right.
So I guess that has to do with what I really want to do.
Cool. All right. Well, very quickly, we're kind of near
Yes.
the end, but I wanted you to mention your CD
Yes.
and show it to the camera.
Yeah.
There we go.
This is my only CD so far. It's been out since 2012. And yeah, it's been out since 2012. And it's a collection of originals.
Ah,
of mine.
nice.
Which brings back to the fact of when I play with David Gibson, I'm very glad to be part of that band because that's all we play, originals of his own.
Right. That's good. Then you put your own stamp on the tune.
Exactly. So this is a collection of tunes that I actually had while I was still in Italy, and I put them all on here. I've had, since I came here, what do you call it, writer's block? Something like that. I didn't write much after which, because I figured I got so much to learn still. It'll change someday. Anyway, this is my album
And we're gonna have on your when the video comes out and everything, you're gonna send them to me, links, and
I will.
people can get the link to that, and it's probably on some digital outlets.
It's definitely on a lot of digital
So we'll get it
outlets.
there.
Yeah.
But anyway, amazing to have you here.
Thank you, Harvie.
Joesph, thank you so much. And I wish we had more time, but we'll do more things together.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.